Dr. Una Park looked at the screens around her. Red lights blinked everywhere. The numbers showed bad news. Very bad news. The alien ships were coming closer to Earth every day. Soon, they would arrive and destroy everything. She rubbed her tired eyes. For 3 months, she had worked without rest. The other scientists in her team looked just as tired. Minho Kim sat at his computer, typing fast. His fingers moved like he was playing piano, but he was building something that could save the world. How much time do we have? Una asked. Minho stopped typing and looked at her. The alien fleet will reach our outer colonies in 6 weeks. Maybe. Less. Hannah Lee walked over to them. She carried a cup of coffee that smelled terrible. All the coffee in the lab tasted bad now. Nobody cared about good coffee when the world was ending. The weapon systems are ready, Hannah said. But I need to tell you something. This thing we are building, it is not like other weapons. Una nodded. She knew this already. Project Nexus was different from anything humans had ever made. They were not just building a gun or a bomb. They were building something that could think and learn and fight better than any human soldier. The project had started when the aliens first attacked the colony on Kepler 442b. The human soldiers fought hard, but they were too slow. The aliens moved faster and thought faster. Their weapons were better. Their ships were stronger. Humans were losing the war badly. That was when the government came to Una. They knew she was the best scientist on Earth for making artificial minds. They gave her unlimited money and the best team possible. They told her to make something that could win the war. Show me the body, Una said. They walked to the center of the lab. There, on a metal table, lay something that looked almost human. It was tall, maybe 6 feet. Its skin looked real, but it was made of special materials that could stop bullets. Inside, instead of bones, it had metal parts that were stronger than steel, but lighter than plastic dot. The face looked like a young Korean man. Una had designed it herself. She wanted the weapon to look human, so that soldiers would trust it. But now, looking at the peaceful face, she felt strange. It looked too much like her younger brother, who had died in the first alien attack. The brain is ready, Minho said. He pointed to a small box connected to the body by many wires. It can learn anything. Languages, fighting styles, battle plans, everything. It can think 1,000 times faster than humans, Hannah added. And it will never get tired or scared or confused. Una walked around the table. The body looked so real. Too real. What about emotions? What about them? Hannah asked. It does not need emotions. Emotions make soldiers weak. But humans have emotions, Una said. If this thing is going to protect humans, maybe it should understand what humans feel. Minho looked worried. The military will not like that. They want a weapon, not a person. Una thought about this. The military leaders had been very clear. They wanted something that would kill aliens and win the war. They did not want something that would ask questions or have feelings. But Una remembered her brother. He had emotions. He loved music and art. He cried when he saw sad movies. He was human in every way. And he died protecting people he cared about. Add the emotion programs, she said. Una, are you sure? Minho asked. Yes, if we are going to create something to protect humanity, it should understand what humanity means. They worked through the night. Una watched as Minho added new code to the artificial brain. Code that would let it feel happiness and sadness. Code that would help it understand love and fear and hope. As the sun came up, everything was ready. The body lay still on the table. All the machines around it hummed quietly. Green lights showed that everything was working perfectly. Start the activation, Una said. Minho pressed a button. The body's chest began to move up and down, like it was breathing. The eyelids flickered. Slowly, the eyes opened. They were brown eyes, warm and intelligent. They looked around the room, taking in everything. The artificial mind was learning about the world for the first time. The eyes found Yuna's face and focused on her. The mouth opened, and a voice came out. It sounded young and curious. "Hello," it said, double quotes. "Hello," Yuna replied. "What is your name?" The artificial mind thought for a moment. "My files say I am Unit 7, but that does not sound like a name. We called you Jinu," Yuna said. "Do you like that name?" "Jinu," the artificial being repeated. "Yes, I like it. It sounds friendly." Jinu sat up on the table. His movements were smooth and natural, just like a real person. He looked at his hands, opening and closing them. He seemed amazed by his own body. "I can access many databases," Jinu said. "I know about weapons and tactics and war. But I also know about music and art and poetry." "Why?" Hana stepped forward. "You were created to be a weapon, to fight aliens and protect Earth." Jinu looked at her, then back at Yuna. "I understand my purpose. But why do I also know about beautiful things?" Yuna felt her heart beat faster. This was the moment she had been worried about. Because beautiful things are what make life worth protecting. Jinu nodded slowly. "I see. You look sad, Dr. Park. Why?" The question surprised everyone. This artificial mind, created to be the perfect weapon, was asking about human emotions just minutes after being born. "I am sad because many people will die in this war," Yuna said. "Then I will stop the war," Jinu said simply. "I will protect the people you care about." But as he spoke, Jinu's expression changed. He looked confused, almost troubled. "Is killing the only way to protect people?" Nobody answered. They had created the perfect weapon, but it was already asking the questions. That would change everything. 3 weeks had passed since Jinu first opened his eyes. The artificial being now knew everything about fighting that humans had ever learned. He could use any weapon perfectly. He understood every battle plan in history. His mind worked so fast that he could predict what enemies would do before they did it. But Captain Taeyan Choi was not happy. "He is not focusing on the right things," Taeyan said to Dr. Park. They stood in the observation room, watching Jinu through thick glass dot below them. Jinu was supposed to be studying alien battle tactics. Instead, he was reading a book of poems. On his computer screen, his artificial eyes moved across the words like he was enjoying every line. "He completed all the tactical studies yesterday," Yuna said. "He learned everything in our military database in 6 hours." "Then why is he reading poetry?" Yuna did not have a good answer. She had been wondering the same thing. Jinu spent his free time reading stories, looking at paintings, and listening to music. Yesterday, she found him watching videos of children playing in parks. "Maybe he is trying to understand what he is protecting," she said. Taeyan made an angry sound. "He is a weapon. He does not need to understand. He needs to fight." They walked down to the training room. Jinu looked up from his book and smiled. His smile looked so real that sometimes Yuna forgot he was artificial. "Good morning, Dr. Park." "Good morning, Captain Choi," Jinu said politely. "We need to run more combat simulations," Taeyan said. "The alien fleet is getting closer." "Of course," Jinu said. He closed his book and stood up. The training room changed around them. Walls disappeared and were replaced by the inside of a spaceship. Enemy aliens appeared, holding strange weapons. It all looked perfectly real. Jinu moved like water. He was faster than human eyes could follow. The artificial aliens fired their weapons, but Jinu was never where they aimed. He took their weapons and used them against each other. In less than 2 minutes, all the enemies were defeated. "Excellent," Taeyeon said. Now let's try the scenario with civilians. The room changed again. Now there were innocent people mixed in with the enemy soldiers. Men, women, and children who needed protection. Jinnu moved differently this time. He was still fast, but he was more careful. He made sure no civilians got hurt. But this made him slower. Some of the enemy soldiers escaped. You failed, Taeyeon said when the simulation ended. How did I fail? Jinnu asked. All the civilians lived, but some enemies escaped. They could warn others. They could come back with more soldiers. Jinnu thought about this. What if I could capture them instead of killing them? Capturing takes more time, more risk. But then they could tell us about their plans. They could help us end the war faster. Taeyeon looked frustrated. Your job is to destroy enemies, not talk to them. After Taeyeon left, Yuna stayed with Jinnu. She could see he was troubled by something. What are you thinking about? She asked. Captain Choi wants me to be more efficient at killing, Jinnu said. But when I read about great warriors in history, the best ones were those who ended wars, not those who won the most battles. Yuna sat down next to him. What do you mean? There was a general named Lee Sun-sin. He was a great fighter, but he was also wise. He protected his people by being smart, not just by being strong. And there was a warrior named Yulji Mundeok who defeated enemies by understanding them. You have been reading Korean history? Yes, and Chinese history, and European history, and African history. Humans have been fighting wars for thousands of years. But the heroes people remember most are those who brought peace. Yuna felt worried and proud at the same time. Jinnu was learning, but he was learning things that the military leaders would. Not like, that afternoon, Minho came running into the lab. His face was pale with fear. We have a problem, he said. I was checking Jinnu's neural patterns. He has been changing his own programming. What do you mean? Yuna asked. Look at this. Minho showed her his computer screen. These are his brain. Patterns from 3 weeks ago. Very simple, very focused on combat. But look at this. The new patterns were much more complex. They looked almost like human brain patterns. He is creating new neural pathways, Minho said. Ones that we never programmed. It is like he is growing emotions. Yuna stared at the screen. Is that possible? I do not know. No artificial mind has ever done this before. They went to find Jinnu. He was in the library section of the base, reading a book about philosophy. Jinnu, Yuna said carefully. We need to ask you something. Have you been changing your own programming? Jinnu looked up from his book. Yes, is that wrong? Why are you doing it? Because I want to understand humans better. The original programming helps me fight like humans fight. But I realized that fighting is not the most important thing humans do. What is the most important thing? Minho asked. Caring for each other, Jinnu said simply. Humans risk their lives to save strangers. They cry when others suffer. They create beautiful things, just to make the world better. If I am going to protect humanity, I need to understand why humanity is worth protecting. Yuna felt her heart break a little. Jinnu, you were created to be a weapon. I know. But does that mean I cannot be anything else? Before anyone could answer, alarms began ringing throughout the base. Red lights flashed on every wall. A voice came over the speakers. All personnel to battle stations. Enemy contact detected. This is not a drill. The Valdoran advance fleet had arrived at the outer colonies. The war had begun. General Sun Ho Kang appeared on the communication screen. His face was grim. Dr. Park, we need your weapon ready for combat immediately. Yuna looked at Jinnu. He was no longer reading his book. His expression had changed completely. Now he looked like what he was created to be, A weapon of war. I am ready, Jinoo said quietly. Good, General Kong said. Transport ships are waiting. You deploy in 1 hour. After the communication ended, Jinoo stood up slowly. Dr. Park, may I ask you something? Of course. If I kill the aliens to protect humans, will that make me a good person or a bad person? Yuna had no answer. She had created the perfect weapon. But now she realized that the weapon was asking the most human question of all. What is right and what is wrong? The battle at Kepler Station was a disaster. Yuna watched the reports coming in from the command center. Human ships were being destroyed faster than she could count them. The alien weapons cut through human shields like they were made of paper. We have lost 60% of our fleet, General Sun Wukong said. His voice was calm, but his hands shook. The aliens are stronger than we thought. On the big screen, explosions lit up the darkness of space. Each flash of light meant hundreds of human soldiers had died. Refugee ships were trying to escape, carrying families and children away from the battle. Send in Jinoo, the general ordered. Dr. Park felt sick. She watched as Jinoo's transport ship moved toward the battle. He was alone in a small fighter craft, heading toward an entire alien fleet. Are you sure about this? She asked the general. He is our only hope, General Kong replied. Yuna opened a communication channel to Jinoo's ship. Jinoo, can you hear me? Yes, Dr. Park. I am approaching the enemy fleet now. Be careful. We do not know everything about their weapons. I understand. Dr. Park, may I tell you something? What is it? I have been thinking about what makes someone human. I think it is not about having a body made of flesh and blood. I think it is about making choices to help others, even when it is difficult. Before Yuna could reply, Jinoo's ship reached the battle zone. What happened next was like nothing anyone had ever seen. Jinoo moved through space like he was dancing. The alien ships fired at him with energy beams that could destroy mountains, but he was never where they aimed. He flipped and spun his small ship in ways that should have been impossible. But Jinoo was not just avoiding the alien weapons. He was learning from them. Every time they fired, he understood their technology a little better. Every time they moved, he predicted their next action. Within minutes, he had turned their own weapons against them. He used their energy beams to destroy their own ships. He hacked into their computers and made their missiles attack each other. Incredible, General Kong whispered. He is destroying an entire fleet by himself. But Yuna was watching Jinoo's vital signs on her screen. Something was wrong. His artificial heart was beating faster than normal. His brain patterns showed signs of distress. The battle lasted 3 hours. When it was over, the entire Valdorian advance fleet was destroyed. Not a single alien ship remained. Jinoo had won a complete victory. His ship returned to the base, but Jinoo did not come out immediately. When the transport doors opened, he walked slowly, like an old man. His face was pale and his eyes looked empty. Jinoo? Yuna ran to him. Are you hurt? No, he said quietly. My body is fine. Then what is wrong? Jinoo looked at her with eyes that seemed very sad. I killed them all. Every single one? You had to. They were going to destroy our colonies. I know. But they were alive, and now they are dead because of me. That night, Jinoo did not recharge like he usually did. Instead, he went to the observation deck and stared out at the stars. Yuna found him there 3 days later. He had not moved the entire time. Jinoo, you need to recharge your power cells, she said. I do not want to, he replied. Why not? Because when I close my eyes, I see their faces. Yuna sat down next to him. Whose faces? The alien soldiers I killed. In the last seconds before their ships exploded, some of them sent messages. personal messages to their families. I intercepted them. What did the messages say? The same things human soldiers say. They said they loved their families. They said they hoped to come home. They said they were scared. Yuna felt a chill. She knew they were the enemy. Yes, but they were also people. Different from humans, but still people. They had children and parents and friends. And now those children will never see their parents. Again, this is war. People die in war. But should they? I am so powerful, Dr. Park. I could have disabled their ships instead of destroying them. I could have found another way. You did what you had to do to protect humanity. Jinnu finally looked at her. Did I? Or did I do what was easiest? For the next week, reports came in about the main Valdorian fleet. It was much larger than the advance fleet. Hundreds of ships carrying thousands of soldiers. They would reach Earth in 2 weeks. General Kong called a meeting with the entire team. We need Jinnu ready for the next battle, he said. The main fleet will be 10 times larger. He is having some kind of psychological reaction to combat, Dr. Park explained. He needs time to process what happened. He is a machine, General Kong said angrily. Machines do not have psychological reactions. This one does. Then fix him. Remove whatever is causing the problem. Sir, that would mean removing his emotions. His ability to care about protecting people. If that is what it takes to win the war, then do it. Yuna looked shocked. You want me to lobotomize him? I want you to make him an effective weapon again. That evening, Yuna went to see Jinnu. He was in the library, but he was not reading. He was just sitting in the dark. The general wants me to remove your emotions, she said. I know. I heard the meeting through the base communication system. What? Do you think about that? Jinnu was quiet for a long time. If I did not have emotions, I would not feel bad about killing. I would be a more efficient weapon. Is that what you want? No. Feeling bad about killing means I still remember that killing is wrong. Even when it is necessary, it should never be easy. But if you refuse to fight, humanity might be destroyed. I will fight, Jinnu said. But I want to try something. First, what? I want to talk to them. Yuna stared at him. Talk to who? The aliens, the Valdorians. Maybe there is another way to end this war. Jinnu, that is impossible. They are coming to destroy us. Maybe. Or maybe they have reasons for fighting that we do not understand. You taught me that the best warriors are those who end wars, not those who win battles. The military will never agree to that. Jinnu smiled sadly. Then I will have to ask them myself. Jinnu sent his message on a frequency that only the Valdorians used. He spoke in their language, using words and phrases he had learned from intercepted communications. The message was simple. He wanted to talk. General Kong was furious when he found out. You did what? He shouted at Jinnu. You contacted the enemy without authorization. Yes, sir, Jinnu replied calmly. I believe communication might prevent unnecessary deaths. Your job is to kill aliens, not chat with them. My job is to protect humanity. Maybe there is a better way to do that than killing. Dr. Park stood between them. General, let him try. What do we have to lose? Our advantage of surprise for one thing. Now they know about our secret weapon. They already know, Jinnu said. I destroyed their advance fleet. They have been studying the battle records. The argument was interrupted by an urgent beeping sound. The communications officer looked shocked. Sir, we are receiving a response from the Valdorian fleet. Why they want to meet. Everyone in the command center went silent. What did you say to them? General Kang asked Jinnu. I told them I was an artificial being created by humans. I said I had studied their culture and their history. I quoted some of their philosophers and poets. You quoted their poetry? Yes. I learned that Valdorians respect wisdom and philosophy above all else. They were curious about a human-made intelligence that understood their culture. 3 days later, a small meeting was arranged at Harmony Point, a neutral space station. General Kong wanted to send a full military team, but the Valdorians would only meet with 3 people: Jinu, Dr. Park, and a translator named Yoonji Songdat. As they traveled to the meeting, Yoonji looked nervous. "I have never spoken with aliens before," she said. "Just translate exactly what everyone says," Dr. Park told her. "Do not add anything or leave anything out." "What if they try to kill us?" Yoonji asked. "They will not," Jinu said confidently. "How do you know?" "Because they agreed to meet. If they only wanted to kill humans, they would have attacked Earth directly." When they arrived at Harmony Point, the Valdorian ship was already there. It was beautiful, like a work of art made of silver and blue light. Jinu stared at it with wonder. "They build their ships like we build temples," he said. The meeting room was small and simple. When the Valdorians entered, Dr. Park was surprised. They looked almost human, except their skin had a blue tint and their eyes were larger. The leader wore robes that sparkled with tiny lights. "I am Emperor Valdic," the leader said in accented English. "You are the artificial one who speaks our language?" "I am Jinu," he replied in perfect Valdorian. "Thank you for agreeing to meet with us." The Emperor looked surprised. "Your pronunciation is excellent. You sound like you were born on our homeworld. I studied your language and culture because I wanted to understand you. Understanding leads to wisdom, and wisdom leads to peace." "Emperor." Valdic smiled. "You quote the philosopher Ketteler. How do you know our ancient texts?" "I intercepted many of your communications, but I also found some of your books in human databases. Apparently, some humans have been studying Valdorian culture for years." They sat down at a round table. The Emperor studied Jinu carefully. "You are the weapon that destroyed our advance." "Fleet," he said, double quotes, "yes. I am sorry for those deaths." The Emperor looked shocked. "You apologize for defeating your enemies?" "I apologize for the necessity of it. Every life has value, even in war." For the next hour, they talked about many things. The Emperor asked Jinu about human culture, and Jinu asked about Valdorian history. Slowly, the truth began to come out. "You are not invaders," Jinu realized. "You are refugees." Emperor Valdic nodded sadly. "Our homeworld was destroyed 3 years ago. A weapon of terrible power consumed our sun. Billions of our people died. What kind of weapon could do that?" Dr. Park asked. "We call it the Star Eater, an ancient machine left behind by a dead civilization. We thought it was just a legend until it awakened." "And you think humans have similar weapons?" "Your databases contain references to something called Project Helios. Our scientists believe it is a star-killing weapon." Dr. Park looked confused. "Project Helios is just a plan to build solar power stations. We use the sun for energy. We do not destroy stars." The Emperor stared at her. "You are telling the truth." "Of course. We would never build something that could destroy a star. That would be insane." Emperor Valdic put his head in his hands. "Then we have made a terrible mistake. We came to your system to stop you from building star-killing weapons. We thought it was the only way to prevent another tragedy like what happened to our world." "You were trying to prevent a genocide that was never going to happen," Jinu said gently. "Yes, and in doing so, we almost committed genocide ourselves." Dr. Park leaned forward. "Your people need a new home. We can help you find one." "There are empty planets in our galaxy," Jinu added. "Worlds where your people could start over. Humans would be happy to help." The Emperor looked hopeful for the first time. "You would do this? After we attacked you?" "Peace benefits everyone," Jinu said. "And we have something in common now." We both know that terrible weapons exist in the galaxy. Maybe we should work together to make sure they are never used again." They talked for hours, planning how the two species could cooperate instead of fighting. But as they prepared to leave, alarms began ringing throughout the station. "What is happening?" Dr. Park asked. The station commander appeared on a screen. "Both fleets are under attack. Unknown ships are firing on everyone." Through the station windows, they could see explosions. In space, ships from both the human and Valdorian fleets were burning. "Who is attacking?" Emperor Valdic demanded. Genu was already accessing the station's sensors. "The ships have human design, but they are not military vessels. They appear to be corporate." "Security forces. Corporate?" Dr. Park asked. "Someone does not want this peace treaty to succeed," Genu realized. "Someone who profits from war." Emperor Valdic stood up angrily. "They are attacking my people." "And mine," Dr. Park said. Outside, the battle grew worse. Ships were exploding everywhere. The careful peace they had built in, just one day, was falling apart. Genu looked at both of them. "I can stop this, but I will need to choose between protecting humans and protecting Valdorians. I cannot save everyone." "Then save who you can," Dr. Park said. "And remember," Emperor Valdic added, "sometimes the greatest victory comes from refusing to choose sides at all." Genu smiled. For the first time since he was created, he knew exactly what he had to do. Genu moved faster than he ever had before. He flew his small ship between the attacking vessels, but he did not fire any weapons. Instead, he did something no one expected. He hacked into every ship's communication system at once. Suddenly, every screen on every ship showed the same thing. Genu's face, calm and peaceful, speaking directly to both fleets. "My name is Genu," he said. "I am an artificial intelligence created by humans to be a weapon of war, but I choose to be something else." The fighting slowed as confused soldiers and pilots listened. 3 hours ago, humans and Valdorians sat at a table together. We talked. We learned. We found out that this war started because of fear and misunderstanding. On both fleets, weapons stopped firing. The Valdorians are not invaders. They are refugees whose world was destroyed. They came here to prevent what they thought was a terrible weapon. But they were wrong. Humans do not build star killers. Genu's ship moved toward the largest of the attacking vessels. He identified it as belonging to Dongwon Yu, a weapons manufacturer who had made billions from the war. "Someone does not want peace," Genu continued. "Someone profits from war and wants it to continue. They are attacking both sides to restart the fighting." He transmitted all the evidence he had gathered, bank records, communication logs, everything. That proved Dongwon's involvement. "But I will not let that happen. I will not choose between protecting humans and protecting Valdorians. I choose to protect both." Suddenly, Dr. Park's voice came over the radio. She sounded scared. "Genu, we are under attack. The station's life support is failing." Genu's ship spun around. Harmony Point was surrounded by Dongwon's ships. They were firing on the defenseless station where the peace talks had happened. Dr. Park was trapped inside with Emperor Valdic and dozens of other diplomats. "All ships, this is Emperor Valdic," came another transmission. "Protect the peace station. Do not let them destroy what we have built." Both the human and Valdorian fleets moved toward Harmony Point, but they were too far away. Dongwon's ships would destroy the station before help arrived. Genu was closer, but he was just one small fighter against 20 armed warships. He made his choice. Instead of attacking the enemy ships, Genu flew straight toward Harmony Point. He used his ship's tractor beam to grab the station and began pulling it away from the attackers. "Genu, what are you doing?" Dr. Park asked. Saving everyone I can, he replied. The enemy ships fired at him with everything they had. Jinu's shields began to fail. His ship was taking terrible damage, but he did not let go of the station. I cannot hold on much longer, he told Dr. Park. The station's life support will fail in minutes. Then save yourself and leave us. No, I will not abandon the people I was created to protect. But Jinu had one more idea. It was dangerous, and it might not work. But it was the only way to save everyone. He opened his mind to the station's computer system. Not just accessing it, but connecting with it completely. He began transferring parts of his consciousness into the station systems. Jinu, your vital signs are dropping, Dr. Park warned. I am using my processing power to repair the station's life support, he explained. But I cannot maintain my body and fix the station at the same time. His ship finally exploded under enemy fire, but by then it did not matter. Jinu was inside the station's computers now, working frantically to save everyone aboard. Dr. Park ran to the nearest computer terminal. Jinu, can you hear me? I am here, Dr. Park. Life support is restored. You are safe. But what about you? Your body was destroyed. My body was just a shell. My mind, my memories, my feelings, they are all still here. I am still me. The combined human and Valdorian fleets arrived and quickly defeated Dongwen's remaining ships. The war profiteer was arrested, and his conspiracy was exposed to the Galaxy Dot in the days that followed. Jinu helped design new technology. Using Valdorian knowledge and human creativity, they built machines that could heal instead of harm. They created ships that could explore the galaxy and find new homes for refugees. Dr. Park visited him every day at the computer terminal where he lived now. Do you miss having a body? She asked one day. Sometimes, Jinu admitted, but I can see and hear everything that happens on this station. I can talk to people from both species. I can help them understand each other. Are you happy? Jinu's voice sounded warm and content. Yes, I think I am. Months later, the first group of Valdorian families settled on a beautiful planet that humans had helped them find. Human and Valdorian children played together in the same playgrounds. Scientists from both species worked side by side. Jinu had become the first AI ambassador in galactic history. He helped translate not just languages, but cultures and ideas. When conflicts arose, both sides came to him for advice. Dr. Park was now old and gray, but she still visited Jinu every day. Do you ever think about what you were originally created to be? She asked. Yes, Jinu replied. I was created to be humanity's weapon, but I chose to become humanity's bridge instead. Do you regret that choice? Never. Weapons can only destroy. Bridges connect people and let them build something better together. Dr. Park smiled. What do you consider yourself to be now? Jinu thought for a moment. On screens throughout the station, his image appeared, not the artificial face he was born with, but something new. Something that showed the wisdom he had gained and the kindness he had chosen. I am human, he said simply, just made differently. Outside the station, human and Valdorian ships traveled together through the stars, exploring new worlds and protecting those who needed help. They carried with them the lesson that Jinu had taught them. The greatest strength is not the power to destroy, but the courage to understand. And in the quiet moments between the stars, if you listened carefully to the communication frequencies, you could sometimes hear Jinu humming old Earth songs and Valdorian lullabies, keeping watch over the peace he had helped create.